Under pressure, why Hillary Clinton was forced to say it.
Yes, I intend to run.
She is going to run for the Senate from New York. A warm welcome in winter's cold. President Clinton, a hero in Kosovo, but the people struggle to survive. Hatred remains. In depth tonight, national gridlock. As Americans hit the road, new proof traffic really is worse than ever, the worst bottlenecks. And new clues tonight. What brought down the plane carrying professional golfer Payne Stewart?
From NBC News World Headquarters in New York, this is NBC Nightly News with Tom Brokaw.
Good evening. Should she or shouldn't she? That's a question that's been swirling around Hillary Clinton with greater urgency in recent days. And today she was forced to clarify her position about the New York Senate race. After a long and sometimes bumpy tryout, she said, yes, she will be running. We begin tonight with NBC's Andrea Mitchell.
Under pressure to either get in or get out, Hillary Clinton finally makes it official by answering a prearranged question from a friendly union leader.
So, is it yes or is it no?
I believe that if we work together, we really can make a difference for the children and families of New York. So the answer is yes, I intend to run.
Why now? Close advisors say to stop rampant speculation that she wanted out and to stop more Democratic defections. The latest just today. A Democratic state senator from Brooklyn endorses Mrs. Clinton's likely opponent, Rudy Giuliani.
When someone comes to New York once every couple of weeks and creates a traffic jam, when she buys a Yankee baseball cap and $1 million home in Westchester and wants to call herself a New Yorker, it's a wake-up call for all of us.
The Clinton candidacy is a weak candidacy. It poses the threat of losing, a great chance of losing.
So what's gone wrong after a promising start? Observers say a series of missteps. Most recently, a trip to the Middle East backfires disastrously. She hugs Yasser Arafat's wife, even after Mrs. Arafat accuses Israel of using poison gas on Palestinians. A tabloid nightmare, and now also a campaign ad from Giuliani's supporters.
Tell Hillary Clinton, stand up for Israel.
I think there were people who believed that I should have caused an international incident over whatever it is she said. I just respectfully disagree with that.
But her number one problem, many New Yorkers don't see her as one of them.
Number one, first and foremost, is carpetbagging. That is an issue, a significant issue for upstate voters.
So now she vows to actually live in New York, not the White House. What about her responsibilities as First Lady?
There are many things that I will still have to tend to, but I'll be living in Westchester and I'll be traveling around the state and campaigning.
Now comes the hard part, turning around a campaign that has made so many mistakes. The latest New York poll has 53% of the people saying, Hillary, don't run. Andrea Mitchell, NBC News, New York.
Meanwhile, her husband, the president, got a foot-stomping, high-five reception today in Kosovo, the Serbian province liberated by the NATO bombing campaign earlier this year. But Kosovo remains a place of suffering and deep hatred. We have two reports, beginning with NBC's Bob Kerr, who's traveling with the president.
A hero's welcome for President Clinton in a community gym packed with Kosovar Albanians. He was introduced as a special friend who saved them from danger and death. Hundreds waited outside in the first snow of the season.
Bill Clinton. Oh, he's a good man.
But all the bombs NATO dropped for 11 weeks were not magic bullets. They drove out the Serb army, but did not solve all the problems, including what's called ethnic revenge, ongoing reprisals against Serbs, murder, destruction of property. In his speech, Mr. Clinton challenged the Albanians not to stay focused on hate.
No one can force you to forgive what was done to you, but you must try.
But when he spoke of forgiving the Serbs, the applause was limited. Flying by helicopter, the president could see many destroyed and badly damaged homes, unrepaired 5 months after the war, villages without water, power, police, and public services. Just last week, the U.S. and other countries pledged to spend at least $2.3 billion to try to build a better life and civil society here. The problem, and still open question, is whether any amount of help can overcome a history of animosity and hatred. Mr. Clinton had some pre-Thanksgiving turkey with troops at Camp Bondsteel. For the foreseeable future, 7,500 U.S. military personnel will do double duty as peacemakers and public servants.
We should be here as long as it takes to rebuild this country, or to help rebuild this country, and to get these people working together, living together, and just make it peaceful overall, I guess.
But with new construction in the works on military facilities built to last many years, the Clinton administration is signaling a long stay in the troubled Balkans. Bob Kerr, NBC News, with the president in Kosovo.
This is Martin Fletcher in Peja, Kosovo, where the weather is bad, cold and rain, and getting worse. The fear is much worse for the 350,000 Kosovars who are still homeless. The Serbs destroyed or damaged 1 of every 3 homes here. The UN promised every family at least 1 warm, dry room before winter. But aid agencies are way behind, and temperatures are close to freezing.
They're living in terrible situations. They're living in these tents. And it's going to be very difficult to survive the winter without proper roofing.
My children are already falling sick, says Huki Mehmet, and my husband, he's paralyzed. He's freezing. We need help.
It's bad enough now in this cold rain, but this is nothing compared to what it's going to be like in a few weeks when the snow begins to fall. Aid workers are warning there could be another catastrophe in Kosovo.
The biggest problem is lack of building supplies, wood to build roofs. Much of it is backed up in a 4-mile-long line of trucks on the border with Macedonia. Humanitarian aid delayed by customs officials. Plus, the massive U.S. distribution center that does have supplies has only just opened. Back in Huki's village, only a handful of families already have what the UN promised, nothing more than 1 room heated by a wood-burning stove. No running water, no electricity, but enough to survive. But many can't find that much in the countryside, so they're moving here to the capital, Pristina. Its population tripled since the end of the war. Resources are overwhelmed.
For the people in the cities, winter could be also very, very difficult because without electricity, without heating, they'll really have no place to go.
The UN says it'll cost $1 billion and take many years to rebuild Kosovo. But for now, the needs are basic: survival. The war came last spring, but many here say winter could be the meanest season. Marlon Fletcher, NBC News, Kosovo.
And up next, gridlock America. NBC News in depth tonight. Holiday travel is bad enough, but new information why so many roads are jam-packed each and every day of the year now.
We have more people driving more cars, more miles on about the same road system.
Highway madness, why it's so hard to get anywhere these days. And an NBC News exclusive tonight, some new answers about what caused the crash of golfer Payne Stewart's chartered Learjet.
Nobody does it like you.
Boy, they love to play horsey. So your carpet better be deep down clean. And for that, you need Hoover. Hey, you want the best, partner? Introducing the Hoover Steam Vac Wide Path. It sends hot water surging through 6 rotating brushes to stir up and pull out deep down dirt the way no other carpet cleaner can.
Hoover!
If you want clean, deep down you want Hoover.
When it comes to traditional luxury, it's anything but more of the same. Introducing the all-new 2000 Bonneville. When supercharged, it's one of the world's most powerful sports sedans. More luxury. More attitude. The all-new 2000 Bonneville by Pontiac.
I was about as miserable as a girl could be. Heartburn worse than yesterday's coffee. And pains. My antacid didn't do the whole job. And Pepsid takes so long. Then I tried Alka-Seltzer. It just plain worked better.
Alka-Seltzer, the only one with the medicines to relieve all your symptoms.
It really works fast.
And only Alka-Seltzer has the effervescent power to speed relief.
Alka-Seltzer. It made a believer out of me.
Get better relief. Get Alka-Seltzer.
My driving test kind of got off to a bad start.
On calls like this, you want to talk a while. That's why it's always a good idea to dial 10-10-321.
Well, I thought I was in first.
With 10-10-321, you save 50% on calls over 10 minutes. Now, that's just 8 cents a minute, day or night.
I was supposed to turn on the blinker.
And no monthly fees. And that 50% off, you can go on and on and on.
So finally, I pull out of the parking space.
Talk as long as you want with 10-10-321.
New tonight at 6, a man-made mess is endangering wildlife in Washington. Now there's a new fight to save animals near a toxic plume. Tonight at 6 on Northwest News Channel 8, where the news comes first. Meteorologist Matt Safino, weeknights on News Channel 8.
NBC News in depth tonight, bumper to bumper. America's roads congested, America's drivers and passengers going nowhere slowly. The Thanksgiving weekend is always one of the busiest travel holidays on the calendar. From tomorrow through Sunday, it's estimated almost 28 million Americans will be on the road in their cars and trucks and RVs and SUVs, traveling more than 100 miles from home. Now, a new study shows the daily commute is worse than ever. We begin tonight's in-depth reporting. Here's NBC's Roger O'Neill.
In Denver, it's the infamous mousetrap. So effective, no one traveling on 2, 4, or more wheels escapes. Seattle has its own mousetrap.
I'll tell you, it's a lot better, Mark, to be hovering above a bottleneck than to be stuck down in it. Take a look.
In Boston, it's the Big Dig, the Hillside Strangler in Chicago. Highway bottlenecks so predictable, their nicknames are more famous to residents than the actual highway.
We're putting too many vehicles on the road during too few hours of the day.
That's obvious, but what's surprising in the new report, while the population has grown 22% in the last 15 years, highway congestion has grown a staggering 235%. Surprising, unless you're one of the drivers spending hundreds of millions of hours a year stopped, stalled, and sitting in traffic. All this in the study by the American Highway Users Alliance, a group of businesses and nonprofit organizations.
We have more people driving more cars, more miles on about the same road system. That's a formula for congestion, and that, I think, is why we have the problem we have today.
The worst location in the country, Los Angeles, where the 405 and 10 freeways meet.
I see.
Two interstates where contractor Bruce Singer spends a big part of his day, every day.
But sometimes it seems like you're doing the backstroke on the freeway. You know, you change lanes trying to get a little bit of an advantage, and you end up, that lane ends up stopping.
While L.A. and Washington, D.C. dominate the top 10 worst list, gridlock is spreading everywhere. 29 of the 50 states, according to the study, have choke points. Daily traffic jams cost motorists 700,000 hours of delay a year. Everyone says traffic stinks. What's causing it? Again, from the study, we're driving longer distances. That accounts for 35% of the new delays. We're taking more trips. There are fewer occupants in cars now. Some people who rode buses and trains are now driving cars, and the final factor producing more traffic, a growing population. Tim Lomax is with the Texas Transportation Institute.
The downside of the economic prosperity that we're feeling is that there's more traffic congestion. The roads have not been expanded to accommodate all that extra travel that's there because there's more jobs.
Building more lanes is one way to fix the problem, but traffic engineers say there are a couple of short-term solutions too. Longer on-ramps, ramps that regulate traffic onto interstates, and widening freeways at bottlenecks all help.
Amid all the statistics, one fact really stands out. The average American will spend 434 hours. That's 18 full days in his car this year. If that doesn't make you sore in more ways than one, nothing will. Roger O'Neill, NBC News, Denver.
Of course, it's not just the number of cars on the highways that's increasing, so is the price of gasoline. Why is that happening? Well, you can blame at least part of it on Saddam Hussein. NBC's Lisa Myers continues tonight's in-depth reporting.
With motorists already paying the highest prices in 3 years, tonight danger of still higher prices at the pump. The key action today, here at the New York Futures Exchange, where this week oil prices soared above $27 a barrel, the highest level since Iraq invaded Kuwait, though they fell back some late today. Why the increase? Saddam Hussein, who spooked the oil markets with a surprise cutoff of oil exports from Iraq. U.S. officials call it, quote, Saddam's game playing.
What he recognizes right now, this is his moment. Oil supplies are tight, spot prices are high anyway, and taking 8% of OPEC's production off the market immediately and unexpectedly is going to have an impact.
An impact on millions of motorists already reeling from the biggest price run-up in a decade. Gasoline jumped from about 98 cents a gallon in January to $1.28 this month.
There's nothing I can do. What can I do? There's nothing I can do.
It seems to have gone up a lot in the last 3 to 6 months. And it's, I don't understand why.
The reason, earlier this year, OPEC, the cartel of oil-producing countries, cut its production. And now Saddam's latest move. What's the impact?
It depends on the duration of the cutoff of exports. A short cutoff will be quickly reversed. A longer cutoff will have a bigger impact on our market.
What you're looking at today is maybe another nickel a gallon.
And higher fuel prices cost you more than just what you pay at the pump. They increase the price of products, from plastic bags to fertilizers. And experts warn that could even reignite inflation and slow the economy. Tonight, as some begin their Thanksgiving travel, the question, when will Saddam stop the game playing, and will it be in time to avert an even more costly holiday season? Lisa Myers, NBC News, Washington.
Up next, what really happened to golf champion Payne Stewart's doomed Learjet? We have some exclusive new information tonight. And the family, the surprising benefits of surfing the net for older Americans.
I went on chemo at the time my oldest daughter was getting married. We had planned everything, the fabric, the design, the whole gown. But when it was time to sew the dress, the chemo, it makes you weak. My whole life I've made clothes for other people, but for my own daughter's wedding, I was too tired to make the dress.
Are you a chemotherapy patient? Ask your doctor about Procrit. Procrit is a natural way to regain red blood cells lost during chemotherapy, and more red blood cells can mean more strength. Procrit is safe and effective. In studies, only diarrhea and edema occurred more often with Procrit than placebo. Procrit is for patients with non-myeloid cancers. Call now and learn how Procrit can help you get back the strength you need. Your strength for living.
In life, you take the bitter with the sweet, but I plan to end up with more sweet.
I'm the Black & Decker floor buster. I eat broken glass for breakfast. I eat cat litter for lunch. Let's just say I have an insatiable appetite. I'm the floor buster. I'm built by Black & Decker.
Bunny is soft. Say soft. Blankie is soft. Say soft. Okay, time to change you.
So soft, we guarantee it. Because Pampers Premium's cloth-like from the inside out. So soft, if you don't agree, you'll get your money back.
Soft. Like Daddy's tummy.
Pampers Premium. For details, call 1-888-OH-SO-SOFT.
The Spot Lifter is Bissell's Wash It Down, Lift It Up, Get On With Your Life cordless deep cleaner. Life's messy. Clean it up.
Attention ladies in aisle 4. Getting the nutrition you'd like out of that cereal?
Yeah?
Because you'd need 4 boxes to get the folic acid in 1 box of total.
Big appetite.
Excuse me. 12 boxes to equal the zinc in total.
Need another coupon?
And you. Even 25 boxes couldn't equal the vitamin E in total.
Express Lane? I don't think so.
Only Total has 100% of 10 vitamins and minerals. No other leading cereal comes close.
We'll take the Total.
Total Raisin Bran, Total Cornflakes. What are you getting for breakfast?
Tomorrow on Today, the music of Chicago. Live outside Studio 1A and brought to you by the incredible edible egg. Tomorrow, only on Today. It's like Today, only later. Later today, weekdays on NBC.
That bizarre plane crash that took the lives of golf great Payne Stewart and 5 others a month ago led experts to the conclusion that the jet was somehow losing pressure during the flight. Well, tonight, NBC's Robert Hager has some exclusive new information from the cockpit voice recorder that shows the experts were right.
Conclusive proof it was a depressurization problem that caused the bizarre in-flight deaths of all 6 aboard the chartered Lear jet, which then flew on pilotless for hours until running out of fuel and crashing. And a hint, there may have been some problem in the flow of air through the plane's pressurization system, rather than a leak or sudden hole that allowed oxygen to suddenly pour out. The new information from the plane's cockpit voice recorder, where a constant alarm is heard, indicating the cabin's not pressurized, a horn sound similar to this. The depressurization alarm ends any thought the accident could have been from a carbon monoxide leak or other poisonous fumes. But the tape does not reveal precisely what happened when the problem first occurred and the passengers were all overcome. Why? Because the tape records over itself every 30 minutes. Only the last part of the flight is heard. Still, there may be another clue on that tape. No normal sound of air conditioning from the plane's vents, part of the same system that pressurizes the plane. Could that be part of the problem? Finally, air traffic control records indicate the original problem happened much sooner after takeoff than previously known. Pilot not responding to radio calls even as the plane's still climbing through only 25,000 feet. Former military investigator Thomas Farrier.
Perhaps you had a slow leak initially, which reduced the amount of time that people would have had to recognize that there was a problem, so then a subsequent faster loss of pressure would have caught them less prepared to respond to it or to recognize it.
But if so, why weren't the pilot and co-pilot alerted by an alarm? And why didn't they use emergency oxygen and try to dive to lower altitude where it's easier to breathe?
Parts of the emergency oxygen system have been found and may eventually reveal, was it operating and was there an attempt to use it? The wreckage is shattered, so we may never have all the answers. But tonight we have the best picture yet of what happened in this tragic accident. Robert Hager, NBC News, Washington.
Also in Washington, Secretary of Defense William Cohen said he wants all service members to review their conduct in the wake of a Pentagon survey that said 75% of blacks and other minorities have experienced racially offensive behavior in the military. The survey, which was completed 2 years ago, also found that 1 in 5 black soldiers felt race relations play a negative role in their chances for promotions. And the world's richest man, Microsoft Chairman Bill Gates, announced another huge charitable gift tonight, $750 million over 5 years to help vaccinate children in developing countries against common childhood diseases that can be fatal. Gates and his wife Melinda set up a charitable foundation last year with a $100 million gift that will benefit the Global Fund for Children's Vaccines. World health experts say as many as 4 million children could be saved each year with proper vaccines. On Wall Street today, investors took a pre-holiday opportunity to lock up some profits, and that sent the markets lower. The Dow lost almost 94 points today. NASDAQ had its worst day in weeks. It was down almost 50 points today. I'll be right back. Our look tonight at the family.
Closer than you think. For information about flood insurance, talk to your agent or call 1-888-FLOOD-ALERT.
We never thought we'd use OnStar for snakes.
I just hate snakes.
Yeah, traveling through Arizona, we blew a front tire. It shot off the road, and I looked down at the ground. It is crawling with rattlesnakes.
It was unbelievable.
I pushed the OnStar button. Within seconds, the OnStar advisor pinpointed our location and sent a tow truck.
Call the paramedics.
Yeah, and kept talking because we
hate snakes.
Yeah.
The one-touch connection to people who can help.
OnStar.
Call 1-800-OnStar-7.
Why is Lysol spray the best way to help protect your family? Because of what it does, kills the cold bug in seconds, and what it doesn't do, leave the sticky film Clorox spray does. That's why nothing beats Lysol.
Tonight, like never before, you can relax and not worry if your dentures are clean. Because you started the day with new Fix-It and Cleanser with ProGuard. This unique tablet and denture bath system not only gets dentures 4 times cleaner, it creates the ProGuard barrier, proven to protect against plaque and odor-causing bacteria all day, so that clean feeling lasts from morning till your goodnight kiss. New Fix-It with ProGuard. Start cleaner, stay cleaner.
Dr. Scholl's next stop, San Francisco.
Let's talk about feet. I do have corn. I've tried Band-Aids. They don't get rid of the corn. This is Dr. Scholl's Cushion Gel Corn Removers. The Cushion Gel relieves the pain.
The medicated disc removes the corn.
It just feels so much better.
Well, my work here is done.
The other day, I'm driving down Broadway when that pastrami on ride catches up with me. Heartburn, big time. My passenger says, here, take a Zantac 75. I say, what are you, a doctor? And he says, yeah.
The medicine in Zantac 75 is the #1 doctor-prescribed acid reducer. It relieves even your toughest heartburn, controlling acid for up to 12 hours.
A real gentleman, that doctor.
Zantac 75 for tough heartburn. Doctors know.
An unlikely heartthrob and the crippling secret that threatens his career. The rise, fall, and rebirth of Donny Osmond.
Headliners and Legends with Matt Lauer, tonight on MSNBC.
This weekend on National Geographic Explore, ancient treasures underwater. Then, snakes as pets? Explore Saturdays and Sundays on CNBC.
The family tonight, and what may be the single greatest line about the introduction of cyber technology, computers, to society, is this line. It's the first time in history in which children are teaching their parents how to drive. In fact, for older Americans brave enough to go there, this new universe is a way to close the generation gap in user-friendly fashion. More now from NBC's George Lewis.
Should we send it?
Charlotte Winokur learning how to use email to keep in touch with her family.
Look how fast is it.
Justin Webb showing another older American how to send photos on the internet.
That's great. The use of computers gives very good exercise to a person's mind. Once you become familiar with it, it becomes a friend, companion.
The experts agree. New studies released this week saying the internet can help overcome what some call the 4 plagues of old age: loneliness, boredom, helplessness, and decline of mental skills.
People get excited about living again. You can actually decrease depression, increase life satisfaction, and increase activities of daily living by tearing down these boundaries that are oftentimes put up by the walls of a nursing home.
71-year-old Norm Salzberg lives in Southern California's Leisure World Retirement Village and uses email almost every day to stay close to his daughter and granddaughter all the way across the country.
If we can get messages back and forth within minutes sometimes if both people are on.
It helps you keep in touch with the daily things that happen, things that you wouldn't necessarily make time for a phone call.
Norm is one of the leaders of the computer club at Leisure World. He says it's one of the fastest growing groups in the place, almost 1,850 members. These Southern California seniors are part of a growing trend. Over the last year, there's been a doubling in the number of people 55 and older going online via computer. According to one estimate, 6 million households headed by people 60 and older are now wired to the internet. Norm Salzberg says it's never too late to learn, that even friends in their 90s are logging on.
You can see that the eyes open up and a little glow in their face that, yeah, I did it.
Keeping families together, keeping minds active, keeping loneliness at bay. More and more older Americans learning how to do that with the help of the internet. George Lewis, NBC News, Leisure World Village, California.
That's nightly news for Tuesday. Don't forget Dateline NBC tonight at 10, 9 Central. I'm Tom Brokaw. I'll see you back here tomorrow night.
Nightly News is a presentation of NBC News. More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world.
From KGW, where the news comes first, this is Northwest News Channel 8 at 6.
A terrifying moment at a local high school. A woman pulls a gun on a student in the girls' restroom and threatens to kill her. It's our top story tonight. Hello, I'm Tracy Berry.
I'm Carol Jensen. Thank you very much for joining us. Police are taking this threat at Forest Grove High School very seriously. Not only did the suspect pull a gun, she was also carrying illegal drugs. News Channel 8's Krista Vasquez is...
Oregon.